What's up, sports card collectors? This is Matt from A Lowdown Dirty Cardboard, and this is my very first video response. This response is to Brent Richards baseball cards. He has hit 400 subscribers. Congratulations. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a shot. This one's a little extra special for me because I've just now started my channel, and Brent was one of my first couple of subscribers. After we kind of communicated, come to find out he's from Houston also, lives in Houston just like I do in the surrounding area. So this is a very cool video response. So I'm going to give it a shot. Mr. Brent has asked us for our favorite ballpark memory. And man, there are a lot of ballpark memories that I have over the years. I tried to think of one when I took my kids, when they were younger and they loved going to the Astros games. I thought, of course, me and my wife had a lot of dates going to Astros games, having a lot of good times, just enjoying the atmosphere, the ballpark, the pregame and the postgame. But I stumbled upon one that I remember way back in the day. So I'm going to go back to July 8th, 1995. Now, my favorite team is the San Diego Padres, and my favorite player all time is Tony Gwynn. But again, growing up in Houston, I've always had a special place in my heart for the Astros. So when July 8th rolled around, I had to go to the game. But here's the best part. It was a doubleheader in the Astrodome. So I got 2 games for the price of 1. And I got a lot of baseball. So let me tell you about that day. On July 8th, I had just started driving about 6 months before. So this was my very first time driving all the way into Houston to watch the Astros. And it was about a 45-minute drive. But when it's your first drive that far away, it seemed like I was on the road for hours. And we finally pull up to the greatest stadium ever, the 8th wonder of the world, the Astrodome. And man, was I ready for some baseball. Doubleheader, just unheard of day. I took a buddy with me, so we were ready. We had money. We had saved our money because, if doubleheader, we were going to eat good, hot dogs, nachos, Cokes, all that good kind of stuff to watch the Padres and the Astros. So we were ready. So I'm going to go through a couple of cards that I have. Now, they are not from 1995, but I was really thinking about, cards, that represented that day. So I had to go back up into my attic. And in my attic, I probably have a good 10,000 cards that I have kind of just scattered everywhere from the junk wax era. And I went through them last night, and it just brought back so many memories of, back when I was high school. A lot of these cards I haven't looked at since high school. So again, these cards are not affiliated with that year. But again, I think, when you see them, you'll definitely know what I'm talking about. Okay. So the first game, the starting pitcher for the Padres was Glenn Dishman. And then the starting pitcher for the Houston Astros was Doug Drabeck. And when I found this card right here, it was awesome. So in this card over to the left is, of course, Doug Drabeck. Had the greatest mustache, one of the greatest mustaches ever. In the middle is Mr. Craig Biggio. On the right is, of course, Jeff Bagwell. And then in the back is the 8th wonder of the world, the Astrodome. And then over here on the left, we got the Shooting Stars. So starting pitcher for that game was Doug Drabeck. Leading off for the Astros, one of the most underrated players. He played center field. Now, I got this autograph when I went to a fan fest a couple of years ago, but it was none other than Mr. James Mouton. And it was just really cool to meet him. If you take a look at that uniform there, you will notice we got the Astrodome on the patch, the old school Astros uniform. So he led off that day, and it was just, again, great leadoff hitter, hustled all the time. That day, Craig Biggio. And when I found this card, I was like, wow, I have not seen this card in years. And I just love these Score Dream Team cards. And this one right here really stood out to me. In the first game, Biggio went 2 for 8. Now, 8, you might wonder, why did he have 8 at-bats? Oh, that is correct. A doubleheader, the first game, went 17 innings. 17 innings. The game lasted 4 hours and 29 minutes. Now, I had to go back and look at these stats back on Baseball Reference, but oh man. So the first game, I get 4 hours of baseball. Also, the first game playing first base, going 1 for 5, was Mr. Jeff Bagwell. Now, I pulled this card because, first of all, he's got the flipped up shades. He's got the first baseman's glove. He's got the old school Astros uni on. This was just a card that just, again, that symbolizes my childhood. I had glasses like that when I played baseball, a black first baseman's glove. This just screamed this card I had to represent for Mr. Jeff Bagwell. Also, one of my also favorite players, the third of the Killer Bees, was none other than Mr. Derek Bell. Now, yes, he's in a Blue Jay uniform, but I've got a rated rookie here. And again, when you see the rated rookie logo, it just takes us back to a long time. And so Mr. Derek Bell went 2 for 5 that game. Also playing for the Astros, and you're going to notice here in a couple of this when I get over to the Padres, the Astros and Padres made some trades throughout the year, especially when I was growing up. But I believe I got this card autographed at that game. Now, I could be wrong. It could have been at a game when this guy was traded to the Padres, because he did eventually play on the Padres. But Mr. Phil Plantier. Man, I love Mr. Plantier when he was on the Astros, and of course when he was on the Padres. Now this one, of course, he's in a Red Sox uniform, but when I saw that card in the attic, man, that was just awesome. And then my last card to represent, I remember these growing up, these collector choices. That was kind of like the checklist, but again, it just symbolizes Houston. It symbolizes the Astrodome. This is Mr. Craig Biggio. I love these cards. Such an awesome card. So the first game was the Astros won 3-2. It was a great game. I remember, again, for 17 innings, it was just fantastic baseball. The Padres scored once in the 16th to take a 1-run lead, and then the Astros scored 1 in the 16th to tie it. And then, so of course, we went into the 17th inning, and the Astros scored a run in the 17th inning to win the game. And so now I'm going to go back to game 2. Let's start game 2. The Astros won game 2 4-1. That game only lasted 2 hours and 18 minutes. So I got roughly about 6 hours and 30 minutes of baseball. But my first card here for the Astros, for the Padres that I'm going to represent, is my Tony Gwynn Captain Crunch card. Now, I'm showing this card because, of course, Tony Gwynn is my favorite player, like I said. But up in the left-hand corner, we got Captain Crunch. And, growing up, I used to love cereal. I had cereal every day for breakfast. And I don't know if I had Captain Crunch that day, but it wouldn't surprise me if I did. So my first card here is my Tony Gwynn Captain Crunch card. Leading off for the Padres in the doubleheader for both the games. Now, again, this uniform is weird because I just said that they made a lot of trades. But for the Padres, it was Mr. Steve Finley. Oh, man, Steve Finley was a fantastic center fielder growing up. I remember he hit the ball really well, but, man, he was just known for his defense. And as you can see, he's in an Astro uniform here in the 92 Fleer. But, of course, he was traded over to the Padres. And, he just had a really, really good career. And I love me some Steve Finley. playing third base for the Astros that game. And when I found this card, this was just the card that I had to show because it's none other than Mr. Ken Caminetti. And as you can see, this is a 91 score rifleman because Mr. Caminetti probably had the strongest arm that I have ever seen in baseball. And it was just absolutely fantastic to watch Mr. Caminetti. I loved him. I loved him when he was on the Astros, and of course, I loved him even more when he was traded to the Padres and he won that MVP season. But Mr. Ken Caminetti, just absolutely amazing. Starting pitcher for the Padres in game number 2 was, man, I'm just glad I got to saw this guy pitch. None other than Mr. Fernando Valenzuela. And here I have a Fernando Valenzuela rookie card. Man, growing up, I spent 4 years living in Los Angeles when I was younger. So I was born in Houston. I moved to Los Angeles for 4 years. And then when I started junior high, 7th grade, we moved back into the Houston area. But when I was in LA, Fernando, it was just amazing to watch him on the Dodgers. It was just unbelievable. Just a great pitcher. So when he played for the Padres later on in his career, it was just awesome. He started game 2. For the Astros, it was Mike Hampton. So that was really cool. My last card of my display here. Now, of course, this is a newer card, but this just symbolizes Tony Gwynn to me. This is my Triple Threads Tony Gwynn card, but I love the shades. Just love everything about this card right here. So it was an awesome day of baseball. Mr. Gwynn went 3 for 7 in the first game. He went 2 for 4 in the second game. So to see Tony go 5 for 11, almost hit 500 in the 2 baseball games was absolutely fantastic. Both Steve Finley and Ken Caminetti got at least 2 hits in both of those games. Craig Biggio in the second game hit a home run to dead center field. It was absolutely amazing. The attendance that day was 25,008. So that is probably one of the greatest days of baseball for me when I got to see a doubleheader in the Astrodome in 1995. So there is my VR for Mr. Brent Richards baseball cards. Congratulations again for your 400 subscribers. Thanks for watching.